Hello guys, welcome back to Yam Tutors Foundation. So in today's video, we'll be treating English language, and the topic we'll be treating is the basic structure of English language. The basic structure of English language. So it's very important you note the basic of English language. And the basic of English language is sentence. The sentence is the basic structure of what? English language. Now, a sentence have different elements. There are different things that comes together to form a sentence, and it is very important to know these elements that comes together to form a sentence. So one of these elements is the subject. The subject refers to the doer of an action. It could also be the person, place, or thing being talked about. Okay, so the subject, it's the performer, the doer of an action. It could be a person, a place, or a thing that is being talked about. So in this vein, we could deduce that the subject could either be a noun. The subject can be a noun or a pronoun. Okay, or a pronoun. So that's basically what the subject is all about. So the second element of the sentence is the predicator. The second element of a sentence is the predicator. Predicator, P. What's the predicator? The predicator is the verb of a sentence. The action performed in a sentence. Now, a sentence can be meaningless without the verb. You cannot do without the action in a sentence. So if you are making a sentence and you are omitting the verb, that sentence is very much useless and senseless. So the predicator, which is the verb, is the action that is being performed in the sentence. Okay, so under this verb, the predicator, there are 5 categories. 5 categories of verb. Number 1 is anomalous verb. Okay, the second one is anomalous plus lexical verb. anomalous verbs. The third one is lexical verbs. The fourth one primary auxiliary plus lexical verb. Okay, then the fifth one is modal auxiliary plus lexical verbs. So basically what we are trying to know is the way in which you can formulate a very good and correct English sentence. So we've known what the subject is all about. We've also known the predicator. So under the predicator, we have 5 categories of verb. The anomalous verb. Example of this anomalous verb is the has. Okay. The example of lexical verb, we have goes. Okay. So anomalous plus lexical verb, we have has gone. Okay. So here lexical verb, we have goes. The primary auxiliary verb, we have is, are. Okay. Modal auxiliary, we have we. We have can. Okay. So these are the 5 categories of what verb. So now if we want to form an English sentence, you take the subject with one of these category of verbs. For example, your subject, let's say the subject plus predicator. The subject, he. So under this predicator, which is the verb, we'll take one of those categories of verb we mentioned. Let's take anomalous plus lexical verb. Anomalous, we have has. Lexical verb, gone. So he has gone. Alright, so that is that. Let's take another example. Anomalous plus modal auxiliary verb and lexical verb. So let's have he plus modal auxiliary verb we go. Okay, so this is the subject, this is modal auxiliary, and this lexical verb, he will go. I believe you understand up to this point. So we've known what the subject is all about. We've also known the predicator. Under the predicator, the verb, we have 5 categories of verb. We have the anomalous verb, anomalous plus lexical verb. We have the lexical verb alone. We also have primary auxiliary plus lexical verb. We have modal auxiliary plus lexical verb. So these are the 5 categories of what verb. So let's go to the third element of a sentence. The third element is the complement. So what's the complement? The complement of a sentence refers to the receiver of the action performed by the predicator. Which is the verb, right? It is the receiver of the action performed by the verb. Okay, let's take for instance, Ade beats Ola. Okay, Ade is the subject X. Beat is the predicator P. So the person that receives this action beat is what? Ola. Therefore, it becomes our complement C. So the complement refers to the receiver of the action performed by the what? The predicator. So Ade beats Ola. Ola is what? The complement. Okay, the fourth element, which is the last, it's adjunct. Adjunct A. This refers to the adverb or adverb in a sentence. So we know that adverb tells us more about the verb. For instance, it tells us the time an action takes place, the place the action takes place, the reason. Okay, so the adverb tells us a whole lot of things about what? The verb. So I believe we understood up to this point. The first element of a sentence is the subject. The second element is the verb. The third element is the complement, and lastly the fourth, adjoint. Okay, these are basically the elements of what? A sentence, the constituents of what? A sentence. So amongst these four elements of a sentence, you cannot do without the verb. You cannot do without the verb. It is very what? Important. Okay, so you can have a sentence bearing just the verb, but you cannot make a sentence with the subject, the complement, or the adjunct alone. You cannot make a sentence with just she. It's meaningless. You cannot make a sentence with just the adjunct, which is time. It's meaningless. But you can make a sentence with go, like a command: go, come. When you give a command go, you already assume the person, the immediate person close to you, is the one receiving it, or is the one you're giving the word, the command. So go means you go. So you can say a sentence having just a verb without any other element, and it's very meaningful and also has sense. Okay, so that's basically what I want us to understand in the basics of English sentences. In our next class, we'll be treating Concord and the rules guiding it. See you in our next class.